It's a shame that Quab's not here because he is the leader of Ty Jerome propaganda, but I am here to take his spot and do it for him. Let's go over the game. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Memphis Grizzlies 129-123. Ty Jerome is a bad mother. Shut yo mouth. Donovan Mitchell 33-6. Evan Mobley 25-13. Ja Morant with 21-10, leading the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson 22-4. Luke Kennard 19-4. But this game was about Ty Jerome taking over in the second half, showing how deep this Cleveland Cavaliers team is. These guys are so freaking good where you can bring Ty Jerome off the bench and he can give you 26. Best player in the second half, Ty Jerome. A player that nobody had on the radar going into this season, aside from Cavs fans. Nobody had Ty Jerome on the radar. Now he might be most improved player of the year. Playing like a bad mother, shut yo mouth. I wish Quab was here. Quab's Wi-Fi is not working. That's why he's not here. This is the third go-around. We tried recording a reaction together. His Wi-Fi kept cutting out. We watched the game together. I had to give you a little bit of the preview, so I'm here just going to go for about 5-6 minutes. Nothing too crazy, but had to shout out Ty Jerome. It would be doing this channel a disservice how much Quab brings up Ty Jerome for me not to go on after Ty Jerome had the game he had. So shout out to Ty Jerome, leading the Cavs in the second half, but also shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers because they showed you why they're so hard to stop on the offensive end. Darius Garland doesn't play. Your all-star point guard does not play. And you start Isaac Okoro, who does an admirable job starting, bringing the ball up, initiating offense, being aggressive. But that's not it. Donovan Mitchell can run the offense as well. Pick and rolls, hitting threes, step backs, ISOs. And then you have Evan Mobley up top, who you can run dribble handoffs off of, pick and rolls off of. And even though he didn't really shoot too well, Memphis's game plan was, to kind of sag off him and give him that perimeter jump shot, that three-pointer, have him beat him from there. With Jaren Jackson protecting the hoop. Didn't really hit his shots early on, but ended up with 25 and 13 anyway. I thought he played well. Jared Allen played well. The Cavs offensively played very well today, despite the fact they went through a completely cold streak in the first half where they just could not hit a three. They were 2 for 15 at one point, and they ended up shooting 13 for 47. 27.7%, but still got the win because they were aggressive. Because they were the aggressor in this game, they rebounded the Memphis Grizzlies, totally dominated the offensive boards, got extra shots, got extra possessions. We're pretty average on defense. I'm not going to lie. This game was, I wouldn't say underwhelming from a Cavaliers standpoint. I thought they played average defensively. I've seen Cavs play better. This is a Memphis Grizzlies team that doesn't have a lot of imagination on the offensive end. A lot of it is give the ball to Ja, have him go to the hoop. Something happens. Give the ball to Jaren, have him go to the hoop. And it's funny, in the first half, the first time Jaren Jackson went at Mobley, he went and scored. And then the second time he went at Mobley, same thing, and Mobley blocked the shot and they went away and the other way in transition. And that's when I'm ahead. I'm like, there's the Grizzlies not winning this game, not because Jaren Jackson is going to be locked up by Evan Mobley, but because that's what their offense is. It's we're going to go at you one-on-one, and we're either going to take a contested shot or we're going to drive and kick, and maybe something comes out of that. And there's some beauty in that being simple, right? Like, the game is to create advantages on the offensive end, right? So if you want to get into the paint, get by your man, find an open player for three, layup, whatever it is, and the Grizzlies just don't waste time doing with the pick and roll. It's like we have Ja Morant who can get by anybody. Why waste our time doing all that when he can just get by his guy, drive and kick and find the open man? I totally get that. But you have to have some type of wrinkle in your offense. And for me, the Grizzlies just don't have enough wrinkles in their offense to beat a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are good defensively and who can also get whatever they want on the opposite end of the floor. And even though the Grizzlies are a good defensive team, I don't think they're equipped and built enough to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's what you saw today. The game was relatively close for most of the game. At no point did I think the Memphis Grizzlies were going to win this game, even when they were up a few points, in the first half, and they made it close in the second half there. I just never really felt threatened by the Grizzlies. A lot of that had to do with the fact that Ja Morant didn't really turn it on until the second half of the fourth quarter there. I wouldn't say he was non-existent, but he wasn't the Ja Morant that we're used to seeing. He hasn't really been the Ja Morant that we're used to seeing all year. He's had a decent year, but not the year that a lot of us expected him to have. So for me, just another game that proves that the Cleveland Cavaliers are on another tier than the rest of these teams, right? There is one tier. There are three teams in this tier that can win the championship, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Those are the only three teams right now that I think can win an NBA championship. And then the next tier with the Grizzlies, the Knicks, the Nuggets, the Rockets, They're the next tier, but there's nobody creeping their heads up going into the top tier. There's just not. I think there's a very clear gap between tier 1 and tier 2. And I think you saw that tonight. I mean, the Cavs are missing their all-star point guard, Darius Garland. And the Grizzlies, they had their whole team. They're missing Jay Huff, who I like off the bench. But, let's not kid ourselves here. That was their whole team for the most part. And the Cavs are missing your starting point guard, all-star point guard. Dropped 129 on you anyway. This team is really good. Played average defensively. I thought they could have played better. I don't think they played their best point of attack off defense today. Still won the game. Kind of comfortably. I don't know. I just think this Cavs team is really good. Wanted to get this recap in because Quab and I were trying to do it. His Wi-Fi went out 3 times when we were trying to record. So I'm going to give you, I just gave you a quick, couple minutes there. Cavs win 129-123. Quab and I will be back on Tuesday. We're going to recap the Lakers, Mavericks, Luka Doncic against his old team. Hopefully Quab has his Wi-Fi back. If not, maybe I'll have a guest, a Mavs fan or a Lakers fan who I know or someone who does that type of content for those type of teams. If you want to follow the Dime, you can at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. You can follow Quab at Quab, a.k.a.s. Our power rankings will be coming at the end of the week. We wanted the league to come back a little bit before we actually started ranking teams again, so look out for that. Make sure you subscribe. Let us know what games you would like to see going forward. So we'll see you next time for another episode of The Dime. Peace.